Hey guys, and welcome to Epic Game Feed. Today we are doing a little bit more scrolls, and I'm your host, Madrid. Okay, so what we're doing today is 2 ranked matches, and I started at round 3. I have a runner out, a hell spitter, and he has a skirmisher and a soldier. He pushes back my hell spitter, comes over for my gunner, and I put the hell spitter back out, sack the plating. He kabonks the runner, puts out a Ducal infantryman, and goes for that middle tower. I'm gonna sack the Frostwind and play a pump on the top middle lane. Draw him away from that gunner and the runner. I draw into a Thunder Surge, and he moves his units back on over after I put the potion of resistance on the pump, and I draw into a clock library. I get rid of it and keep the draw into a Thunder Surge and a potion of resistance. I have 2 Thunder Surges now. So he moves back over to the pump, then pushes it back. Summons a crossbowman out, and I summon the pump back behind the... Oh! And the hell spitter hits the crossbowman and he just puts out. He summons a vanguard, and his guys do work on my idols over there. I need to put something out to defend it, so I put the pump over there, and then I put a potion of resistance on the pump. Let's see what he has to say about that. And he reforms, kabonks the pump, brings another skirmisher out, and I draw into a dust runner. I'm gonna chain lightning him, put the dust runner behind the pump, and it's his turn. Kabonks the pump one more time. Brings a spearman out and goes to work on my idol and my pump. I get rid of the kabonk, do a burn on his spearman he just brought out, and the pump hits all of them and clears the board. Woohoo! Let's see what he has to say about that. By the way, this game was really good. It came down to the wire. He puts a skirmisher and a Ducal infantryman out. I'm going to put a cannon or a gunner out and a library behind it to block the idol. I also draw into a violent dispersal. If you can't tell, I have made changes to this deck. I have added in the gunners, added in the violent dispersals. I'm actually probably going to get rid of the order cards that's in it as well, because I don't end up using them. And I put a plating on my pump. I should have put it on the gunner because he's going to move over and almost destroy my idol with focuses, 2 focuses and haste. So then he also played a decimate. So all he has to do is get one more decimate to make it so that idol is gone. So right now I'm trying to kill his stuff before he can cast another decimate, or kill his idols before he can get a decimate. And I think 3 of his idols are down to 9, so I have some work cut out for me to killing his idols, especially if he keeps summoning like that. Checking the cooldowns, I play an Iron Ogre, and end turn. Pump hits all of those guys, and I think next turn the other pump's going to go off as well. I'm asking him how many decimates he has in his library. He only has one, thank God. If he had 2 or 3, I'm sure he would have won this game. At the end, he goes, well, I'm off to buy some more decimates. And I said, good idea. Okay, I drawn 2 flips and thought traps. I need to get rid of them. I play a Dust Runner, and I Thunder Surge his people. Next turn, I think, yeah, my pumps go off. 2 of my pumps go off next turn. So Spearman should be taken care of. He uses summons and plays a Waking Stone. And then a Ducal Infantryman. I use a Inferno Blast and play another Gunner and and put a plating on my pump. And that's another wipe. Woohoo! One of his towers, or one of his idols, is down to 8. The rest are 9s and 10s. He plays a general. He's decided to go for the other idol. I think I have fortified the other one too well for him. Trying to figure out what to do and turn. And I get one of his idols down to 1 and the other one down to 7. And then 2 9s and a 10. He summons another Waking Stone, a Bowman, and I draw into a Thought Tap. I'm going to get rid of that for 2 cards. I draw Inferno Blast, but I play a Blind Rage instead to kill 2 of those, and then do the Inferno Blast 2. That way it's getting rid of the Waking Stone and his doing damage to his general. Trying to figure out what would be the best thing to do right now. I end turn, bring one of his idols down to 5. Please don't draw that Decimate. He draws a Imperial Resources, and I draw a Cannon Automaton and a Dust Runner. I play both of them. Bring one of his idols down to 5, down to 1, and both of the pumps hit. Bring the Waking Stone down and his general down to 3, down to 3. He kabonks my pump, and I'm like, oh man, here goes game. He's gonna play a whole bunch of buffs on him and hit, and he ends up playing a Skirmisher and a Ducal Infantryman. Woohoo! I draw into a Hellspitter, a Scattergunner, and a Library. I put the Hellspitter out for the most defense and in turn. Bring 2 of his idols down to 3 and 1 down to 1. So game's coming down to wire now. I'm waiting for him to either get a Decimate or pump up his Skirmisher to finish me off at the top idol somehow. He'll have to do like 16 damage in 1 turn though to do that. I draw into a Violent Dispersal, trying to figure out what I want to do. Get rid of the Golem, do the Dispersal on the wall. Inferno Blast the Skirmisher, move the runner over, both runners over, let the one runner kill the Skirmisher, and the other one do the idol. And there goes 2 idols. There's one left with 2 HP, with 2 health left. And I have lots of creatures out to deal with it. I'm just hoping that he doesn't get a lot of buffs for his Skirmisher or a Decimate. One or the other kind of sinks my ship here. Let's see, what is he going to do? Pushes back the Hellspitter, flips the other guy, and I'm like, oh man, here it is. Gets it down to 2. Thank God he didn't have one more buff out there. So I'm going to summon the Hellspitter, summon the Clock Library, put a pushing resistance on the Hellspitter, and next turn it's over if he can't do anything. So keep your fingers crossed for me. Let's go. Kabonk, kabonk. He's looking for it. He's looking for it. Did he get it? Oh! Puts a haste and a speed, and that's game. Woo! Ha! And I say this will look good in my YouTube channel. That was a very close game. I can't believe that I ended up winning that. So there it is. All right, let's check out my second game here. It's against Mega Kex. I think this guy's a newer player, so not as hard of a time here. Or wait. Just tell him about the YouTube channel. I summon a runner. I'm going to get rid of the Frostwind. He plays a Spark to kill the runner, and I got a lot of lag there for some reason. I got disconnected. I didn't show that. And I reconnected. I've actually been, my stats have went down because my ranking has went up to above 1,000 now because I have disconnected from like 3 or 4 matches where I would have been winning or I would have won, and it just makes me upset. So it looks like we got like a mirror matchup here, but he doesn't have the quality of cards that I have, so this game's not as great. It's pretty good up until about halfway in. So right now he is definitely owning me with cards and with creatures out and cards. He has 2 cards, 7 resource. He has 4 creatures out now, and I have a pump. So I use the Blind Rage on his Golem, take out his 2 other creatures he just summoned, and he plays a a useless contraption. I put a gun automaton out and pump hits one more time. Or sorry, and then I do a spark on his Golem. Plays a Fury, dang it, and there goes my pump. I get a cannon automaton and a plating. I put it on the automaton. I want to take out his library so it doesn't pop. Get rid of the flip, play another gun automaton, and play a library, the top row where you can't get to it. If you don't remember or have not watched my other ones where you play against energy versus energy, usually the energy that gets the libraries to pop the most is going to win the game. That's basically how it works. As long as you don't mess up really bad. So, and he uses another Fury, kills my cannon, but I move my gun over and take out his library with a burn and the gun attack. And it's starting to get a little out of hand now. Thank God I have a Thunder Surge in my hand. I draw another library. I'm going to get rid of it, use the Thunder Surge, and end turn. I didn't want to get rid of the Violent Dispersal or the Iron Ogre because those 2 will end up saving me against his bigger creatures. He puts another library out and a gun automaton. And next turn my library is going to pop. So yes, thank God. And trying to figure out what to do. I'm going to dispersal his Iron Ogre, play a runner out behind the gun automaton, and try and take out his library so he doesn't get card advantage on me. If he gets card advantage on me right now, he has way more creatures out and the cards. I'm going to Blind Rage his cannon, kill, and take out both of his gun automatons. End turn, see what he's going to do. Plays another useless contraption. Those things are useless. Don't put them in your deck. Just a heads up, I think they are pretty bad. He plays a Bombard and attacks my idol. I play an gun automaton and a scattergunner and an Aether Pump. And take out his library before it can pop. And I draw him to another Iron Ogre and another Violent Dispersal. That's perfect. The game should be done after this. and I spark his guy. Bring out another Iron Ogre. He plays a Scattergunner, puts a plating on his useless contraption. Plays a Fury. I draw into another Clock Library. I play my Inferno Blast to make them all take 1 damage. And I have Potion of Resistance, so I'm going to put it on the Ogre. Draw a Thought Trap. Yuck. Don't want that to be there. Kill his useless contraption. Then kill his guy that repairs stuff. Not that big a deal. He's saying that he's getting really bad draws, all situational stuff. Waiting for him to end turn. Plays a burn. And I draw into another cannon automaton. Play it. Golem wipes his row, and that's game. And I say, that should be game. And this is when I think he rages. Let's see. He gets really pissed off. He says, that sounds so arrogant of you. It's not arrogant. I'm just saying I have 2 cards to his 5, but I have 6 things on the board compared to his 0. And at this point, my library is going to pop before he can kill it. If he doesn't decide to kill my library, then he loses because I'm going to kill him with idle damage. So we can either deal with my my creatures and let the library pop and I get card advantage, or he can deal with my library and my creatures kill his idols faster. So I mean, it's a loss for him, and he's upset about it. And I'm just telling him the same thing I just told you, like, hey, I'm not being an ass. I'm just saying that's game, or it should be game unless he can pull something out of the hat. That's all. He plays a burn to kill my, forget what was it, a Scattergunner. And there goes the library, putting me at card advantage, letting me resummon everything. And now I have 5 cards to his 6 cards with 7 units on the field. I'm telling him he doesn't have enough resource to come back into the game with the cards that he has. He can either use a dispersal, chain lightning, burn. All of it costs too much for him to use and put something out. So I mean, he can put it out, but he won't be able to kill my creatures. I'll kill his guy after he puts it out, or he can kill one of my creatures. I resummon, and it just goes back and forth like this. But that's why I put creatures in this deck now. I didn't have the gunner, and I didn't have the scatter gunner either, because I thought they weren't worthwhile. But you know what? They do damage instead of having him be like the something that just sits there like my structures. I took some structures out and put some creatures in, and it seems to have worked a little bit better in this deck. Because I can summon them, they do a little damage to stuff, plus I have my spells to get rid of things that might pose them a threat. This game was a little bit laggy for me, I don't know why. He plays a tick bomb on my pump, and let's see here, put a burn on his gun. And move over my golem to attack. I'm trying to make sure all my units are spaced out for any kind of chain lightning he might have in his hand. He's saying that's the first creature he's drawn in 10 rounds, but it doesn't matter. There it goes. Dispersaled it. He says, bad game, and then calls me a faggot.